If you're over 40, your watch matters more than you think. The wrong one can quietly age your entire look by 10 years, even if everything else is right. After working with hundreds of men in their 40s and 50s, I keep seeing the same pattern: smart, successful guys making watch choices that work against them without even realizing it. In this video, I'm breaking down 10 watch mistakes that instantly date your look and, more importantly, how to fix them. In the next few minutes, you'll learn a simple way to tell if your watch fits your wrist, a clear system for knowing which watch works in which situation, and how to stop sending the wrong signals with something as small as what's on your wrist. By the end, you'll know exactly what to wear, when to wear it, and how to avoid looking like you're trying too hard. Stick around, because mistake number 7 is one most men over 40 are making right now without realizing it. Let's get into it. Let's start with the foundation: choosing the right watch for the right situation. At this stage in life, context matters more than it did in your 30s. This is where most guys go wrong before they even put the watch on. Mistake 1, wearing one watch for everything. So the first thing I want to talk about, wearing the same watch to literally every situation. The office, the gym, weddings, the beach. Just one watch doing all the heavy lifting. Here's the issue: once you're over 40, context matters more. And people notice when things don't line up. You're not wearing wingtips to the gym, right? The same principle applies to watches. Here's what happens: you wear a chunky dive watch with a suit. It fights your cuff and the proportions feel off. Flip it around. A delicate dress watch at the beach or gym is a great way to damage something expensive. The practical solution is building toward 3 watches. This isn't collecting, it's having the right tool for different jobs. First, a dress watch. Thin case, simple dial, leather strap. If you're going high-end, think Jaeger-LeCoultre. More accessible is Seiko Presage, under $300. Second, an everyday sports watch. Refined enough for the office, tough enough for weekends. Think Submariner Seamaster or Black Bay. Third, a beater you don't worry about. G-Shock Timex or a basic Casio. With these 3, you're covered for pretty much everything. And honestly, you'll enjoy each one more because you're wearing it where it actually works. Mistake 2, using sports watches as dress watches. Now here's where guys trip up most, trying to make a sports watch work for formal events when they need something completely different. I see this constantly: men wearing oversized dive watches with formal suits and thinking it still counts as dressy. You love that Submariner or Seamaster and it's a great watch. But with a sharp suit, it's bulky, it catches on your cuff, and it breaks the clean lines. Once you're in your 40s, details like this don't go unnoticed. A chunky sports watch with formal attire is one of those tells. A real dress watch is specific thin profile around 8 to 10 abaya. It slides under your cuff without any fight. Clean dial, white or silver, no busy complications. Leather strap that matches your belt and shoes. Size-wise, 34 to 39 millimeters. I know that sounds small compared to modern sports watches, but for formal wear, that's exactly right. If your watch can't slide under a dress cuff without catching, it's not a dress watch. Think classic pieces, Patek Calatrava or JLC Master Ultra Thin. More accessible, an Orient Bambino, under $300. Bottom line, your sports watch isn't wrong, it's just wrong for this context. Save it for the office and weekends. Grab something slim for formal occasions. Now, even the right type of watch can still ruin your look if the proportions are off. Now that we've covered context, let's talk about fit, because the watch still has to look right on your wrist. Mistake 3, going too big on size. Size matters, and this might hit close to home for some of you. There's this idea floating around that bigger equals more masculine. Reality: an oversized watch usually works against you. When a watch is too big for your wrist, it doesn't make you look bigger, it makes your wrist look smaller. The whole proportion feels off. Most well-dressed men aren't wearing 46mm monsters. They're wearing watches that fit and balance with the outfit. Here's what works: most men look best in 36 to 42 millimeters. Under a 6.5-inch wrist stay, 36 to 40. Over 7 inches, 42 to 44, can work if the proportions are right. For dress watches, even smaller, 34 to 39 millimeters is ideal. These aren't meant to be statement pieces. They complement your outfit, they don't dominate it. And here's the part most guys never measure. Here's the measurement that matters more than diameter lug to lug. That's top to bottom, where the strap attaches. If those lugs hang over the edges of your wrist, the watch is too big. Period. A perfectly proportioned 38mm watch will always look more refined than a 46mm watch that's screaming for attention. Alright, we've covered what to wear and when to wear it, plus getting the size right. Now let's talk about what actually makes a watch valuable, and I'm not talking about the price tag. At this point in life, you appreciate craftsmanship and quality differently than you did in your 30s. Mistake 4, not understanding quartz versus automatic. Now let's talk about movements. Let's be clear, quartz has its place, especially for a beater. But for your main watch, an automatic offers something different. An automatic is a tiny engine on your wrist, powered by motion, and built on centuries of tradition. The appeal is character. You wear it, you keep it running, and you appreciate it as craft, not just a tool. At this stage of life, you start valuing craftsmanship over convenience, and that's where an automatic shines. Good news, you don't need to drop a fortune. Seiko, Orient, Hamilton, Tissot all make excellent automatics, under $500. Seiko Presage or Orient Bambino, under $300, and you get genuine mechanical watchmaking. If you're investing in a dress watch or your primary everyday piece, make it automatic. You'll appreciate the difference. Now let's talk about the fastest way to make a good watch look cheap. Mistake 5, getting blinded by bling. Now, this next one is about a trap that catches guys who are trying to look successful, and it backfires hard. Let's talk about watches with excessive diamonds, gold details, or flashy designs. Unless you're wearing a genuinely high-end piece, flashy details usually don't read the way you want. Fake diamonds, cheap plating, and busy dials tend to look less expensive, not more. Real luxury in watches is quiet, impeccable finishing, subtle details, refined proportions. There's this concept in watch collecting, if you know, you know. People who genuinely appreciate watches recognize quality without needing flashy markers pointing it out. At this stage, quiet confidence beats loud flash. So what should you look for? Craftsmanship. Polished case edges, perfectly aligned markers, smooth, precise action, subtle touches like a beautifully executed sunburst dial or a well-finished movement you can see through the case back. A simple stainless steel Submariner will always command more respect from people who know watches than a gold-plated piece covered in cubic zirconia. The goal isn't impressing everyone, it's impressing the people who actually know what they're looking at. Keep it understated. That's where sophistication lives. So you've got the right watch at the right size, and you understand what makes it valuable. Now here's where the details matter, how you actually wear it. As you get older, these styling details become increasingly important because they show you understand the complete picture. Mistake 6, never changing your watch strap. We've covered the watch itself. Now let's talk about something most guys never even consider: the strap. Your strap matters as much as the watch. Swap it, and the same watch can move from formal to casual fast. Here's the basic hierarchy from formal to casual. Most formal, exotic leather crocodile or alligator in black or dark brown. This is best reserved for formal events. Formal smooth calf leather in black, brown, burgundy. Ideal for business settings and dressier occasions. Middle ground steel bracelet. Most versatile option works for office and casual weekends. Casual NATO strap. Fabric perfect for weekends, travel, summer. Most casual rubber strap. Dive watches, gym, beach. Match the strap to the setting. Leather for dressy bracelet for daily NATO, or rubber for casual. If your strap clashes with your shoes and belt in a dressy setting, it's a red flag. If you're not swapping straps regularly, you're missing one of the easiest ways to get more versatility. Mistake 7, smartwatches at formal events. Now this next mistake, number 7, is the one I mentioned at the start. This is something most men over 40 are still getting wrong. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room: smartwatches. Smartwatches are useful tools, but they don't belong with formal wear. If you absolutely have to wear one, keep it discreet and as simple as possible. When you wear an Apple Watch with a tux or a sharp suit at a formal event, you're sending a message: function matters more than elegance. You're prioritizing connectivity over respecting the formality of the occasion. A traditional mechanical watch in those settings shows something different: attention to detail, appreciation for craft, respect for the event. It's part of the picture you're creating. Look, this is simple, right tool for the right job. Wear your smartwatch for workouts, casual days, times when you actually need those features. But weddings, important meetings, formal dinners, switch to traditional. If you can only have one watch right now, honestly, make it traditional. You can always check your phone for notifications, but you can't fake the elegance of a proper watch in formal settings. We've talked about the physical aspects, choosing watches, sizing them right, understanding their value, styling them properly. But these last few mistakes go deeper than that. They're about your whole approach to watches and how you use them. By your 40s, it's less about impressing others and more about genuine appreciation and self-awareness. Mistake 8, only chasing big brand names. Speaking of mindset, this is where guys get tunnel vision. Here's what I see all the time: guys fixating on big names and ignoring great alternatives. Rolex and Omega are great, but limiting yourself to the obvious names means missing out. By your 40s, you should be past chasing logos and actually appreciating craftsmanship. Real watch people look at movement quality, finishing, design, heritage. They appreciate brands for their craftsmanship, design, philosophy, and engineering, not just their name. These brands might not have mainstream recognition, but they offer incredible value and craft. The more you learn about movements, finishing, and design, the more you realize great watchmaking exists beyond the headline brands. Learn what makes a good movement, study finishing and dial quality, and you'll start buying with taste instead of marketing. Appreciate watches for what they are engineering art craft, not just status symbols. Now, even if you own the perfect watch, you can still wear it the wrong way. Mistake 9, constantly checking your watch. Now, these last two aren't about the watches themselves, they're about how you use them, and they matter more than you'd think. Here's a subtle thing that makes a bigger impression than you realize: constantly glancing at your watch during conversations or meetings. When you keep checking your watch while someone's talking, you're basically broadcasting that you'd rather be somewhere else. It reads as bored, distracted, rude, even if that's not what you mean. The irony is that a nice watch can lose all its impact through careless behavior. Simple principle: be aware of the time when you need to be, but don't broadcast it. Need to check, glance quick during a natural pause, not mid-sentence, not while someone's looking at you. Better yet, develop enough time sense that you don't need to check every 5 minutes. Your watch should work for you quietly, not create awkwardness. This matters more as you get older because social awareness becomes an increasingly important marker of maturity. Small things add up to how people read you. Mistake 10, neglecting maintenance. And finally, the last mistake: even expensive watch owners get this wrong. I see beautiful pieces covered in grime, scratched crystals, worn straps, movements that haven't been serviced in a decade. It's like buying a nice car and never changing the oil. Quality watches are investments, and if you want them to last, you have to take care of them. Basic maintenance is simple: wipe your watch regularly and keep straps and bracelets clean. Long-term service automatics every 5 to 7 years. Replace worn straps and store watches properly when you're not wearing them. A well-maintained watch lasts generations. Don't let simple neglect destroy something valuable. Most men never realize their watch is working against them until someone points it out. Alright, let's wrap this up. Match the watch to the setting nail, the proportions, and keep it understated. Here's the bottom line for men over 40: a watch is never just an accessory. It's part of how you show attention to detail, respect for context, appreciation for quality. When you get this right, you feel the difference. You walk into a room and you know you look sharp. That confidence worth way more than any price tag. If this was useful, subscribe for more on dressing well after 40, from accessories to building a wardrobe that fits your life. Quick question: which mistake hit home for you? Tell me in the comments, and be honest about whether you've worn a smartwatch to a wedding. And remember, the best watch never asks for attention, it earns it quietly. Thanks for watching.